Welcome. Good day to you. This is Miss Lee here on this April 5th, 2026. I wanted not so much stir your conscious, nor your anger. I want you to understand the truth and apply it accordingly. For example, what have we done to the pale people who inflicted so much hurt, pain, dysfunction, and the most heinous crimes anyone could inflict on a group of people? What have we done to them? Because we've done a lot for them after the fact, after all of the horrible, heinous things that pale people, people like them, people that exist right now doing similar things to melanation. What have we truly done to them as opposed to doing for them? I want you to listen to something. This is an excerpt. On the one hand, the movie is called Revolt. On the other hand, the movie is called The Slave Who Rose Against His Masters. Pause for the cause. Now, Curacao, Curacao, is a small island in the Caribbean. It was a major trading port for slaves until the mid 18th century, when the transatlantic slave trade was at its peak. Follow me though. So by the end of that century, international slave trade had come to a standstill. So life became increasingly difficult, and the slaves were still working in the fields, but only to produce that what was necessary to keep the inhabitants alive. What's funny is the whiter, and I use that word loosely. Well, I'm going to use the word that I like. The paler you were, Pale, and I don't know if paler is a word, but the paler you were, the better your position. And for those that were born of mixed blood, chances were high that they would simply be put into work as a slave also. And there was no escaping, because Curacao is an island. You can't get off. So allow me to give a little bit more information. So history tells of a slave revolt on August 17th, 1795, in the Dutch colony of Curacao on the Knip plantation, KNIP plantation, by a so-called slave named Tula. Okay? Now, I'm bringing this up because of what happened to those that led and those that he that led the the revolt and those that participated. This is what was documented in a movie that took place or that happened to them for what they did during that time. Listen to this. And this excerpt is basically why I'm bringing this to your attention, because we are melanated men, women, and children are so forgiving. We are by nature. We are technically not violent people, but we can be violent. So it's in our nature, but that's not where we go when we interface with people. Other people, Caucasian people in particular, that's who I'm speaking of, in my humble opinion, because they lack melanin, which is a lot of melanin has to do with emotions. Now, I've read that and I may not be expressing it correctly, but I do know this. Caucasian people lack melanin and they lack true emotions. Think about that. Fear. Melanin has a lot to do with fear, temperature, how our temperature is regulated. It's regulated by melanin in us. Emotion, fear, things of that sort. If they lack that, why do you think they participate in windjamming and jumping off cliffs and skydiving and things of that nature? They lack fear. If you put me and a Caucasian in a position, who's going to jump off a cliff first? It sure in the hell wouldn't be me. And if you line 10 more of them up, it still wouldn't be me. All 10 of them would likely jump, especially if there's money involved. Anyway, listen to this excerpt.
For the murder of a colonial citizen, Schoolmaster Sable, Pedro Wakao will be dragged around the execution site by horse, then his hands will be chopped off and his head crushed with a big hammer. Louis Mercier, you will be hanged by the neck until dead. The slave known as Tula of the Knip plantation will be put on 2 crossed poles, and all of his bones should be broken from the feet up. His face will be burned, then his head cut off and placed on a stake.
Do you understand my point? It is not my intentions to stir up hate in anyone. I hate no one, in spite of all of the atrocities suffered by my people, by the hands of others, not just Caucasian people, the Dutch, the French, the Spaniards, the Jewish people. My point is that you can't trust these people, and why we go out and vote for them instead of preparing our own. We have many scholars in college and universities capable of running billion-dollar businesses, to say nothing of the country we are in right now. All things are possible. In this place, at this time, for our people. So don't be deceived by the harbingers of sin. And don't forget, don't you ever forget. They're trying to erase our history. And they do it in many ways. They do it silently by mixing races. Why a melanated man or woman would ever choose to have children by a Caucasian person is, I'm sure I do not know. Let's guard against that. Let's build up our people the way we were in our past, and show our brilliance and stop hurting one another. Hurt the true enemy. Remember, hurt the true enemy by any means necessary. I'm out. Thank you for listening. If there's anyone listening, this is Miss Lee. This April 5th, 2026. Remember to praise Yahweh, Elohim, and His Son, Yeshua the Messiah. And stay strong. And stay tuned. I'm coming back for more. Believe that. See you down the road. Ciao.